even though this is like my biggest complaint in my videos for the past couple of months, but how have we come to the point where we're ready to do the mid-year book freak out? Like, I don't understand. So this is honestly one of my favorite tags to film each year because it's such a good one. We all get to talk about the books we've read so far in this year, and as it says, have a little bit of a freak out, and it is just so much fun. And it's really crazy too because this is the 6th time I've done this tag, because like I've had my booktube channel for 5 years, but I did the video in 2015, like I just got it in there, so this is the 6th time I've done it, and every year it is so much fun to like see the different responses and the different books I've read. And even though for this year I've only actually read 33 books, and it was really hard to actually pick some of the responses this time because my reading was quite average actually, and I thought I was gonna have some like really good ones in there, and there was some books that were really amazing but also some books that were really shit, and then most of them were average, so it was quite hard. But I'm still gonna have fun making this tag and just having some fun talking about some of the books I've really enjoyed, so let's get into this video. So the first question is best book you've read so far this year. There wasn't even a choice here, like I knew instantly what book was going to be talked about here, and I feel like everyone is going to talk about this book, but it's House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. Like, I loved this book so much. It was so good, and even though it's 800 pages, I loved every single page I read. I love Bryce, I love Hunt, I love the whole story, and it was just so good. And honestly, there were so many moments in this book that just made me so happy and so sad, and it was just really, really good. And since last year in April when I saw Sarah J Maas talk about this book, and she talked about it in a little bit of detail, even though like not that much knowledge was known about this book, I've been excited. So it's felt like it's been like such a journey to getting to this point to have this book, and it really paid off because I loved it so much. But it's not really a shock because everything Sarah J Maas writes I instantly fall in love with, because all of her characters and her stories are amazing, and I don't think she's trash, and I'm never gonna think that. Question number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far in 2020, and I'm gonna say Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I really enjoyed this sequel, and even though it took me like 3 years to actually get to this, I have to pick it for my favorite sequel that I've read so far this year. I really love the idea of Caraval and the game and the atmosphere and the funness of it, and the fact that even as the reader you don't know what's real and what's not, and it's just such a fun element of like tricksterness and like the circus atmosphere vibes is great. But I really did like reading about Teller and knowing more about her as a character, and like I do prefer her over Scarlet because Scarlet was just so uptight most of her book and she didn't really do that much, but Teller is where it's at, and I just had so much fun with this, and I just hope that I get to finale soon because I need to see where it's gonna end. Question number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. I'm gonna say Of Curses and Kisses by Sandeya Menon because I am excited. It's a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and it just sounds amazing, and I do want to read it like very, very soon, but like I don't know when it's gonna happen. Like at the moment I've just been picking a lot of random stuff to read, but there's also things that I actually really do need to read, so it's actually getting really hard to know what to pick up next, but I do want to make this priority because it just sounds so much fun. Question number 4 is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I'm gonna say Blood and Honey by Shelby. There are so many I could have said for this, but honestly I loved Serpent and Dove so much last year, and it was like my 4th favorite book of 2019, so I need to know where the story is going to go because I need to know what's going to happen to Lou and Reed. I need the story expanded upon, and this book was so good. It's an arranged marriage between a witch and a witch hunter, and the first book was just so good with that element there, but I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm just so keen. Like, is anyone else as keen about this book as me? Because I just need it. Number 5 is Biggest Disappointment. I feel like you're going to know this is coming, but it's What I Like About You by Marissa Cantor. I just hated it. Like, it was so disappointing. I did give it 3 stars though because the bookish element was really, really fun because the main character has a book blog, and they talk about booktube and bookstagram and having the book blog, and they talk about BookCon and like publishers and stuff. Like, that bit was really, really cool, but what the main character does is not cool because she basically lies the whole book, and she is not a good character, not a good girlfriend, not a good friend, not a good sister. She just shitted me so much, and I did not like her, and I don't recommend this book really at all because it was stupid. Question number 6 is Biggest Surprise, and I'm gonna say Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, just because like I wasn't really expecting that much from it. I'd had the audiobook saved for ages, but then I never got to it, but then I started to read like a lot more of Trisha Levenseller's books, so I've read it more recently, and I just ended up really enjoying it because it does have Viking themes, even though it's not actually Viking, but I just started to really enjoy it because I didn't really know where it was going to go at first. But Razmira was a really cool character, and then we also have Soren and Eirik, who are the boys that are the main characters in this book as well, that come into play later in the story. But I just loved the friendship bonds and the story, and just everything started to come together, and it was just a really cool book. Like, I just really liked it, and I highly recommend it if you want a good fantasy. Question number 7 is favorite new author, and I'm going to say Trisha Levenseller because I have been loving everything that she's been writing lately. And I know that she has a new duology lined up to come out next year, well, at least the first book, and I'm just so keen. But if you have not picked up her books yet, you definitely need to because she's amazing. Question number 8 is newest fictional crush, and I'm going to say The Shadow King from The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller because damn, I loved Callias so much, and he was such a great character, and he is absolutely the type of character that I like. So if you want like a new Rhysand-esque character, read this book because the Shadow King is amazing, and he's cool, and he has cool powers, and he's a king, and I just love him. Question number 9 is newest favorite character. So I actually have 2, and that is Bryson Hunt because I just can't even. When I was looking at my books, I wanted to try and do different responses and answers, but I cannot not pick Bryson Hunt because they are my new favorites. And even Labahia, I think that's how you say her name, she's so adorable. Like, all the characters from this book could be new favorite characters, but especially Hunt. Like, I love him, and he's an amazing character, and I just can't wait to see more. Question number 10 is book that made you cry. It is obviously common knowledge that I don't cry when I read books, but I cry a shit ton when I watch movies. So I'm gonna say House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas because some of the scenes in this book got me close. Like, Light It Up is always gonna be such an emotional moment, and just the whole thing, like, there are so many moments at the end of this book that actually kill me, and even what happens at the start of the book kills me. Like, this whole book is an emotional roller coaster, and like, so many people would have cried in this book, and I feel like I would have cried if I could. So I have to mention the book that got closest. Number 11 is the book that made you happy, and I'm gonna mention Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, and this was just really fun. I loved the whole story and the relationship and the banter and the Twitter battle, and just this book has so many details, and it is hard to explain because every time I try to do it I bumble through it, but I just loved it so much. And Pepper and Jack were just great characters, and you honestly need to read this book if you just want a happy, cute and fun romantic comedy-esque book. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought or received so far this year, and like, really there was nothing that would top this cover, and that is for Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, because look at it, it's so beautiful. Like, look at her hair, and it's got like all the autumn vibes, and it's just beautiful. And also House of Earth and Blood is a beautiful cover, but I wanted to pick something different, but honestly this does top the cake of all the beautiful covers this year. And question number 13 is what books do you need to read by the end of the year, and like, too many. I don't even pick a response to this question anymore because too many. I have nearly 400 books on my TBR, so I can't say my whole TBR because that would not happen. I don't know how you could read 400 books in a year. Like, that would just kill you, and I'd have to like quit my job and just read for a living, which I can't do. But there is just way too many things I need to read, and I have also made so many videos talking about books I want to try and read that I don't want to add more, and I don't want to repeat myself. So hopefully this answer is suffice for everyone. But anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this tag, and it is honestly such a fun one to do. Like, I did mention this at the start of the video, but I'm so glad this tag got created, and it was a way for us to like talk about books that we really enjoyed without having to wait until the end of the year. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye!